Good evening and welcome to another Drama is Life with your host, me, Theresa White, and some special guests here. On our Memorial Day episode, we're going to be talking about the importance of a team. You know, they always say there's no I in team. Have you ever been on a sports team or been a part of any type of team where you had to do some things? There typically is a common goal. And so when we talk about this Memorial Day in honor of our veterans, we know that none of them have gotten here without being a part of a team and looking out for each other. And so I want to introduce you to my special team, some members of my team that is here working with me. So glad to have them. And so I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves and tell you their role here at End Time Creative Counseling Services. So I will start with Jenny.
My name is Jenny Norris, and I am an outpatient and school-based therapist.
Nice to have you, Jenny.
Thank you.
I am the office manager. My name is Dickerson.
Hello, Sierra. Glad to have you. And so, as a part of a team, we know that it's important that people have a common goal. And so, as our team and what we do here in the Wabash Valley is that we help with mental health. That's our goal, is to keep the mental health or the health of our community up mentally and emotionally. And so I want for you to hear the reason why my team members wanted to even be involved in this type of field, the mental health field. Who wanted to start us off with their answer?
I'd say for me, I wanted to be a positive part of people's lives and helping change their lives.
Absolutely.
Have a positive impact.
I wanted to work in the mental health field because I seen how many people viewed mental health in a negative light, and that people that speak out or seek help often are stigmatized. So I'd like to help correct that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about decreasing the stigma. That's the whole point of what Drama is Life is about, so that we can decrease the stigma of mental health, particularly among African American and faith-based communities. But I also have a heart for veterans because I have family members, and I'm telling you the stigma that we know that is absolutely present when our veterans are asking for help is heartbreaking. I know that we have the VA and we have people that are absolutely advocating for our veterans. But I have a little bit of a sore spot when we have people come back from war and they're homeless. In what country do they do that at? Yeah. When they don't have food to eat. And so then, yes, it can be very difficult to ask for help in those circumstances or even to be seen. And there's a whole stigma around homelessness. There's a whole stigma around poverty. And these are people that risk their lives to save ours and to give freedom to our country, and they have to beg for food, or they're on the side of the road with signs asking for donations. And I just think that's heartbreaking. And so we definitely want to make sure that we are advocating, especially, I'm not just advocating, but honoring them the way they deserve to be honored in our community. Because not only do we want to advocate for those who are our target people, but we want to make sure that we are advocating for everyone that needs that advocacy. That's the word I'm looking for. And so we absolutely thank you for your service. For all those who are veterans, we don't want to let that moment pass. We want to say thank you for your service, and we are absolutely wanting to be here for you, as you have always been here for us. So as she mentioned with that stigma, that's just kind of my sore spot. I wanted just to say that because that kind of burns me a lot. I won't say a little, a lot. But we know that there's also stigma because there's also mental needs of our veterans. And I want the team that we have here, because it's important that when we are here for mental health, that we are here for a common goal. As Jenny said, to be a positive influence, and yet also to make sure that we are here to help save lives. And so people can be free in their lives to be healthy. So, kind of correlating that freedom, that we absolutely are advocating for people to be free emotionally from stressors or trauma and different things like that, and to also be able to live and to live an abundant and happy life. So I want my team to tell you some of their skills that they bring to the team. So, when you go to war, there's sergeants and lieutenants, and they bring special skills, and they have a special role of what they do to help make sure that everybody comes home safe. So I want my team members to tell you what their skills are and what they do to help make sure that those who come to us stay safe as well. So we're going to keep it going with Jenny starting first.
Okay. So I feel like one of the skills that I have, especially for the people that I provide services for, is being able to build relationships with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to have a working relationship when you're going to be talking about sometimes difficult things, and making emotional knowledge accessible to them so they can understand the things that are happening with them. And I would say one of my biggest skills is being willing and honestly enjoying having difficult conversations with people.
Yes, we are all here for difficult conversations. We love that. So, Miss Sierra.
Okay, my strongest skills would probably be my organization and then my ability to think outside of the box. I like different.
Yes. Yeah. I think it would be difficult to work here and not like different, because clearly I am. I like different, but different in a good way. I really enjoy, as Jenny just mentioned, having those hard conversations. What has been the shh and the hush, we don't talk about that. We don't deal with that. Again, we talked about with the issues that are going on a lot of times in our community, our veteran community. If we don't address it, we can't heal it. We don't acknowledge it, we can't do anything about it. So we absolutely need skills that can build those bridges and relationships and make people know that they are safe to have hard conversations, as well as being organized. Because when you got a creative brain and you are like all over the place, you can miss some very important, pertinent things without the skill of organization. So both of them bring some really great skills to the entire creative counseling team. They have been with us for the last 2 months. Yes, 2 months. And so very happy to have them. So as she didn't want to mention it, but she's a really great therapist. She was really modest on her skills. And so I really appreciate Jenny being here, and Sierra was modest on her skills as well.
She keeps us going.
Yes. Organizing, again, schedule. So again, imagine when we talk about Memorial Day and what it would be to be a team and how it's important to keep that team intact, organized, so that the goal can be accomplished. If we got one person who's way over here and the other one's way over there and we way down here and nobody's organized to the purpose of what we're here to do, then again, lives are at stake. And so she's very important. So we want to make sure that you all know that the importance of a team, especially in honor of Memorial Day and honoring our veterans. So is there any other, I wanted to ask you all, tell me what Veterans Day or what Memorial Day means to you.
I have never been in service, but I have several family members that have. So my dad was in the Navy. My sister retired from the Air Force. And I actually was in grad school with 3 gentlemen that were all veterans. And their goal was to provide services to veterans. So I learned a lot from them. And it became more meaningful to me through that experience with them and being able to learn about why mental health is important for veterans from a vet.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. Same question to you.
For me, Memorial Day means appreciating those who have given who didn't need to give. Because my grandpa was blinded in Vietnam and he raised me, so I've just always had respect for the military, the utmost respect. But Memorial Day is about the people that got time or some type of injury or something. They got time away from their family. They got injury that they don't get compensated as much as you really can be. You're losing your eyesight for the rest of your life. And a check a month doesn't really make that feel realistic. And I just think it's about the people that have given more than we could ever ask them to give.
Absolutely. Yeah. just echo that. I don't even.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just
absolutely.
did it.
Yeah. And the point that she mentioned, they didn't have to. They didn't have to. That this, and I say that because sometimes we don't consider that the veterans absolutely gave, but so did their families. People had to give up their grandfathers, their fathers, their brothers, their friends for this period of time. And some people did not get the reception back. They did not get their loved ones back. And to not be there, as Sierra said, there's no compensation for that. There's nothing we can say, we appreciate your service. We thank you for your service and absolutely mean that from the bottom of our hearts. But we want you to know that we are absolutely here to make sure that not only are our veterans safe, but also their family members, that they're not forgotten at all. We understand that takes a toll on the entire family's mental well-being. And if that is not addressed, as Sierra mentioned about the stigma, we don't ask for help. If we don't address what is not being acknowledged, then again, that makes that wound even deeper. It makes it even harder for the family and for those who have willingly given their loved ones for people who sometimes don't always show that appreciation as they should. And as we absolutely appreciate one day and being able to have the day off of work at times, it's absolutely more than that to these families. And it should be more than that to our country, to our nation, period. So we just want to let you know and just remind you the importance of a team, that nobody has got here by themselves. And it's important to make sure that when you are using your skills as to serve others, as absolutely we are here to do, to serve others and make sure that life and health continues to flow in our, not just in our environment, but our community, in our families and our communities. And I'm so thankful to have a team that has that same passion to make sure that life and health flows in our community in all areas. So I would like them to share anything else they would like to say to any of our veterans who may be watching, or the family members of veterans who may be watching, or anyone who may be even struggling that has that stigma, struggling to say, I need help, or struggling to even be able to have that confidence. So I want you to hear from some people who have the passion for health and life. And this time I'm gonna have Sierra start.
Oh goodness, I was ready for Jenny.
Since she was rooting for you.
I was ready for Jenny.
Oh, ready? That's what she was rooting for.
Go, Jenny.
Sorry, okay.
I would just say that it's not, I know that most people think of therapy or even just acknowledging that you're having an issue, just talking to a parent or a friend about an issue. A lot of times that's hard, but it's a lot easier if you find a safe person, and we are safe people. We are 100% safe people. There are safe people out there, and I truly believe that if you reach out to the right person, you can get the right help. It just takes time sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
I like the way you said that. That was good. I would first say thank you for your service, because I feel like that is just a basic acknowledgement of the most simplest terms of what veterans have done. And that it's okay to be having the feelings that you're having, and it's okay to have a full spectrum of emotions about that, because a lot of times I think we're taught, like, push that down, maybe not acknowledge that, and that doesn't help. So acknowledging that you're having that emotions is okay, and being able to reach out to people is okay. And that is one of my pet peeves with seeing some of my family members go through some things that they absolutely needed to process. They still need to process, and not being able to, because they had that stigma or that backlash of being active duty, or even when you're not active duty, and reaching out for those mental health services. So I hope that gets better. And just know that you can reach out, and that there are people here that will listen to you and help.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, when both of them have mentioned just some of the hardness that can come with being a family member or a veteran yourself. I know that there's a huge stigma around like PTSD and the trauma that comes But one of the skills that we absolutely use here is the expressive arts, and embody techniques in a healthy way where we can help you heal from trauma. And even the deepest trauma, the most severe trauma, can help you heal in a safe way at your pace. So we're not trying to throw you back into, the images of combat and things like that. Not at all. And sometimes that's the stigma or the myth that comes, when it comes to asking for help, that people believe that it's going to be one way. And that's so not the case. We are all about safety, and we want to make sure that we are walking you through your healing journey in a safe manner. And if at any moment anyone is not feeling safe, that's why it's important to have a team, because then you can talk to other people to make sure that we can get you to somebody safe. So even if we're not your people, as Sierra said already, there's other people that are safe as well. And we want you to be able to get the safe help that you absolutely deserve, that absolutely should be given to you without even a question, whether you are a family member or the veteran yourself. But I want you to know that we are absolutely here for you, as you have been here for us. And so we appreciate you. We salute you. We honor you. We thank you. We sing your praises because you are just wonderful people that have a heart that not everybody has. We just want to make sure that we acknowledge that today and take a memory and even a moment of silence for those who are no longer with us, and even for those family members who have lost those loved ones. So we're going to ask you to do that right now. And once again, we just say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being here to meet some of my team. There's two of them that are not here. You've already met Alyssa Mitchell, but you have not met Tiana Richards. So again, it takes a team, it takes a village, and we are absolutely here to be all of those things for you. So thank you again for watching another episode of Drama's Life. And thank you, Jenny and Sierra, for being here. And for sharing your heart for our community, for our veterans, and for their families. You guys have a blessed and beautiful week and enjoy your holiday. Bye-bye.